And we are starting. First thing you notice is rename the characters. If you watch this a lot, you already know that. If you're new, we like to rename the characters to one letter to save time on screen. So the first part of the game is a lot of character naming. We have some menus at the start to set the battle speed to 1, to set memory cursor, maybe change controls if you want to.
Yeah, control change, I know at least from DD side we're not going to see a control change yet. It's obviously slower to take the extra time for the menu to change your controls, but there is one boss skip later on in the run that we cannot do with default controls, but we're going to get to that. We see eLmaGus going for the classic control swap, just X and Y swap. Pretty common.
Yeah, that way you don't have to do it at the boss later.
But as you said, these first 5 minutes here, pretty boring, I want to say, compared to the rest of the run. We got a lot of character naming, we got this menu at the start, and besides that, a lot of text mashing. Text mashing isn't too relevant. You are going to save a frame rule every once in a while, just do optimal text mashing at the end, just closing the text at the first possible frame. And it adds up for sure, but I think with runners like these, it's not going to matter overall. We're going to see some minor time save here, some minor time loss there, just to text mashing, but it shouldn't really make a difference with these runners.
And it's not only text mashing, it's also movement in this game. It's a lot, even though if you start out, you are not paying that much attention to it, but it really adds up over the game.
Already nice little technique you could see there at the market, because we want to progress the story and get to the invention as quick as possible. We talk to the shop there, and by buffering start and B, we can exit this shop on the first possible frame and just get out of it quickly, get the story to progress.
The interesting part is it's always start B, even if you switched your controls.
Yeah, the game does not do a good job in general on adapting control swaps.
Sometimes it does.
But... Well, sometimes it does, but like when the game explains to you certain things with like buttons, it never swaps to the buttons you actually have, but it will always refer to the default controls, which can be kind of confusing, I guess. But these runners obviously know which buttons to use, so I don't think that should be an issue.
So right now what's going to happen after this cutscene, I guess you could say, is we get into a fight. These 3 blue imps, and they're kind of important because we want to set our RNG values to a specific point for the upcoming mid-boss fight, I guess you could say, with 3 nuggets. Because those can use the slow spell, and slow in a speedrun, it's not really preferred.
Yeah. The way fights in this game works, or I guess RNG in general, is that it's actually very lenient in a way that it's like completely manipulatable. Because like every attack, every action, every tech advances the RNG in a specific way. So in theory, well, practically too, if we do the same thing every single time, we're gonna get the same battle RNG every time. So by doing these first few fights at the start in a specific way, we can manipulate this mid-boss fight in a way that it's going to be very, very fast, and otherwise would be very, very slow. And this very first encounter here at the start is actually probably one of the hardest ones to nail, because you have 2 very tight inputs where you need to attack a specific enemy to not get attacked yourself. And those inputs are comparably tight. Most of the other fights in this game are a lot more lenient.
Yeah, there is some visual or audio cues you can use, but if you just do it on reflex, you'll probably miss it. And there are also some different setups, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on what you are most practiced with.
Magus doing a really nice job here, same for DD, both avoiding any other attacks. Optimal fights here.
And
also nice to see that DD took the extra time to get a different menu theme going. Nice visual thing.
And we also get the first instance of the bird skip. We will see more of this later.
Yeah.
Basically, you have like a 2-pixel window to not fight the enemy, because the trigger is at the end of the bridge there, and by holding up instead of left, you actually walk past the trigger.
Yeah, there are a lot of instances in this game where you can just barely push yourself around corners like that and avoid encounters. This bird skip here, which I think is going to be in the run like 3 times, is probably one of the most important one of those.
Yeah, I think 3 times, and 1 times we have the reverse one.
Yeah, right. Birds are not very loved in this game, at least not in the speedrun.
Are they ever loved in an RPG? Probably not.
You know, I mean, if chocobos count as birds, then I would argue that those are pretty cool.
In a speedrun sense, though?
Yeah, okay, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, right now we have more story to develop. So Marla, the girl you met at the fair, gets transported in time. Don't ask me why, it just happens. It has something to do with her pendant. That's all I'm going to say. And you follow, and then you meet her here, and she's just gone. So we have to figure out what happens.
Yep, literally ripped out of existence. But thankfully, right after that, we get another cutscene, because our friend Luca here figured out how time travel works all of a sudden, and can perfectly explain us why Marl just disappeared, and how we can fix it. So that's really nice. Get this absolutely lovely cutscene on time travel paradoxes.
Yeah, and on the royal bloodline as well.
Yeah.
Because
conveniently enough, all royal ancestors of Marl look exactly the same. Well, that's not quite true. They change hairstyle every 2nd generation, so that's nice. Because it's the hair that matters.
It's always the hair.
It's based on a true story. I kind of doubt that.
And they also apparently change the colors of the dress every 2nd generation as well.
Right. I mean, you gotta keep it interesting in the royal family. So if that's all they have, then you gotta leave it to them. But yeah, now we're. I want to say now it's like kind of getting started. We're gonna have a few more fights here. These are the upcoming 2 fights. Are actually the only fights that are not mandatory that we're gonna do in this run, and that's only because we do a little bit of grinding here to get a little bit of tech that's gonna make the Naga fight a lot quicker. So we do these 2 extra encounters here that we technically wouldn't have to do, and that's really the only grinding that has to be done in the run.
And we also picked up the Power Glove earlier, after the bird skip. Forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah, that one is pretty important.
It's important for later on, yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say to the audience, we forgot to mention it, but we do pay attention. Sometimes.
Well, the good thing is that we know that they picked up the Power Glove because it's not randomizer and they always pick it up. And since the audience is smart, they'll figure it out.
Because it's not randomizer is the best explanation.
I mean, I feel like with these two, it's kind of necessary that we mention that every once in a while. I mean, maybe people walk into the stream, see, oh, it's DD and eLmaGus, that has to be a randomizer stream, but no, we're actually playing the vanilla game today.
And right there, we also picked up a power tap, which is really important.
So now after these two fights, we have Flame Toss and Flame Whirl. And since both runners are still on the good RNG, we're gonna be able to just Flame Whirl the left free of those Nagas. And then Flame Toss the last one and only gonna get one attack in, not a single slow spell, making this fight really, really efficient.
And you see the first normal attack, that is so the Nagaheads actually move forward. So you get a pattern where you can actually flame roll all of them. Or mostly all of them.
Yeah, plus we're going to be set up very nice on the last fight here in the Cathedral for two nice frog crits. They're just going to one-shot the two Diablos.
But first we have to eat frog.
Right. The best, arguably the best character in this run.
And marshmallow.
Right.
Never forget marshmallow.
Now you remind me that I forgot to pack something to eat for this stream.
There's a frog right there.
It's a G.
It's a G. I wonder if we have to explain fade out before they actually get to the save anywhere, or...
I'm pretty... I know eLmaGus goes for it in these races.
Okay, I guess then
pretty sure DD does it. So, eLmaGus grabbing the save to revive. I'm not sure if DD... Yeah, DD also does it. Okay, so what you're gonna see here... eLmaGus is gonna Oh no, never mind. Okay, getting bamboozled here.
Let's see if
DD does it. Yeah, LD does it. So DD entered the loading zone there and then entered the menu, left the menu again, and what that does is that it kind of keeps the loading transition, and every time you leave the menu it tries to get into the loading zone again, so it kind of keeps fading out. But by continually spamming the menu, you can just delay that. And what DD did there was grabbing the power tab as he was fading out, just by delaying the fade out. And that saves time because you kind of skip the jingle of this like da-da-da-da-da-dum when you grab the power tab. If you do it in 2 fades, which I think he did, it saves time. If you do it in 3, it just pulls even with what eLmaGus did. If you need any more, it loses time. But we're gonna see that instance, that technique fade out later for something much more important called Save Anywhere.
Yeah, and it's also used to skip some fights later on as well.
Right. It's just a very, very useful technique, used for a lot of things everywhere in the run. Yeah, there we got those 2 frog crits.
And both are still on the correct RNG window.
That's the nice thing about this run. So when you reload your game, the RNG gets reset, and based on how long you spend on the file select screen, you get a different RNG. So it's nice to be able to keep up the RNG throughout the fights, but there are points in the run where you have to reset the RNG anyways. So if you get off script at some point, you'll get on script at some point again anyways. Alright, so here we got the fade out for both. And this time they don't activate anything, but they just try to get onto the save point as the fade out activates. And what that does is when they load the next room, the game is going to treat it as if they're still on the save point, which is called Save Anywhere, so they can save past the loading trigger off the boss fight. And what that does after they reload the save, they can just move around in the boss fight, as you can see on eLmaGus. Oh no, DD. Oh no.
That's not good.
Okay, it looks like DD's battery died. And it didn't keep the save file. That is I mean, that's a problem because you need this in this run you need to save and reload. There's no way of not saving and reloading in this run. A DD can effectively not do the speedrun right now with a dead battery. That's just impossible. Dang, that's that's anticlimactic to say the least. But yeah, he cannot do the speedrun right now. It's not even in his fault. He just can't do it.
Yeah, the battery's dead. You have to reload and save, and if that doesn't work, then it's over. Basically.
So DD says he can load up his flash card, so that would be something. Still, 16-minute time loss here.
I mean, if they both agree, we can have a rematch. I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, yeah. I'm not sure. I guess we have to fix that up with the SG crew. But I'll just not say anything because I have no clue how this is going to be handled in the end and what DD's and Magus' decision is on this.
I don't know either, so they have to make it with Speed Gaming channel crew.
For right now,
we'll focus on eLmaGus then.
Yep. Who's still on a really great pace. Now we got the most important skip of the run, the frog skip. And he gets it.
DD has forfeited though, so yeah. I guess you can mark that then. So people know what's up.
Alright, yeah, that's a good idea. Alright, so now we got reverse bird skip. We still have to save anywhere from the cathedral, so we're just gonna save and reload. Note here, he's gonna slightly delay how long he took to load his file, just to set up on a specific RNG. And now he's able to just skip the fight trigger here, and does this reverse bird skip. And looks like we do have a rematch, alright.
I was about to say, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Let's just see. I really don't know how the schedule looks like, so we'll just gonna wait for the SG staff to get back on us. 1 second, we'll clarify this here momentarily.
It should be fine with schedule. All right. So it seems we will have a rematch. And we have to wait a couple of minutes. I hope DD's card works now, though.
Alright, and looks like... wait, are we starting it? No. Just saw someone starting. Okay, I think we're good. At least the countdown on SRL is going, so I don't have any music yet, so I'm kind of assuming we're good to go. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure if chat can hear us because I don't have any audio yet, so I'm not sure if we're still playing music.
Guess we'll find out.
Oh yeah, just waiting for the chat reaction. All right. Yeah, we can hear. Okay, thank you. All right. So I guess for the recording, since I have no clue when they will how they will cut the highlight. Welcome to the losers final of the Defeat Magus tournament. My name is Pong. I'm here together with Wee-Man. We're doing the commentary. This is not the first time I did this introduction. We unfortunately had to reset about 15 minutes in because DrunkenDraconian's battery was dead, and in this speedrun you need to make saves and reloads in order to do the run, so a dead battery means no runs, but we got it figured out, and now we're ready for a hype race.
Let's speedrun the commentary.
Alright, yeah.
Once again, changing names, changing battle speed, memory cursor, and eLmaGus changing controls. Calling it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that DD does not change his controls. Oh man, this is gonna be great because for the first 15 minutes we can look into the future of what strats they will do. We can call it exactly. Oh, there we go. DD also taking that little bit of extra time to swap his menu theme to this nice wooden texture.
Very nice. I don't think he did that first time, did he?
Oh, he did. He did.
He did.
Yeah.
So I don't even notice.
The different coloring is just the different capture methods. SNES being an older console has, well, obviously some problems based on your capture equipment, so you're going to have different resolutions, different levels of pixelation and color schemes.
And again, we are picking up the pendant. It's important for later on, before talking to Mal, and then renaming her. It's for a cutscene later, with the trial. So, we get a specific outcome we want.
Well, we hope that we get a specific outcome. There's still that one jury guy that apparently likes to be RNG. But we do everything in our power to be first. So that's
exactly. We try everything we can to ensure. And both runners actually went for the candy skip, but neither got it. And it's quite finicky. I tried it a couple times. It doesn't seem to work at all.
Yeah, and it doesn't even save too much time in this category. Because, well, basically the idea of candy skip is that you save that little cutscene where Mal asks you to wait for her and she buys some candy. You skip that on the way in, but once you get on the way back, you still need to do that. So you have to watch it anyways, just watching it the second time is slightly faster, but it doesn't save a lot of time, really. It's way more useful. Sorry.
It saves like a second, I think, overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. So yeah, the first 5 minutes of this are really just a little bit of menuing, mostly just minor movement things, renaming the character sufficiently. But we're gonna get into our first encounter here quickly once we step through this time portal that appears out of nowhere because magic pendants from princesses. That's how it works.
That's always how it works.
Yeah.
And as you've seen, we have renamed all the characters to one letter. At least for the ones that matter the most for this speedrun. Because this speedrun is just up until we defeat Magus. Not eLmaGus, but that's also a goal, but...
Well, that's definitely DD's goal, defeating Magus.
But yeah, the first time you're in Magus Castle, you have to defeat him, and that's the end of this race. It's not the full game, it's not too little of the game, so you get to see like almost a half of the game, I would say.
Yeah. And it's really nice because like up till this point, defeating Magus the first time, it's like the point where all categories are basically the same. So it's nice, a nice common ground for people from different categories to come together and race.
And it's also really nice to learn.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I learned it myself just for this tournament, and it's been a blast. So we got this first fight. They want to follow a very specific script with two very tight inputs where they want to attack the imp that is not on the default battle cursor, which is kind of harsh to hit, not terrible, both of them getting it. The reason for that is that it avoids any extra attacks, and it obviously saves time because you save yourself the animation of the attacks. But it also saves time because you're going to set up yourself for a specific RNG that's going to be useful later.
And I guess we will see one more bird skip.
This category usually is, well, when you first learn it, around like 2 hours. These runners are in the area where they play on like sub 150 level. World record is a 147. eLmaGus here got really close to getting a 147 in this tournament. But so far I think both of their best race times are 1:48s.
Yeah, I guess we can expect like sub 2 from both of these.
Oh, I definitely expect sub 2s from both of these. Not
Unless
jinxing
something
anything, of
goes
course.
horribly
Yeah, no.
wrong. But
We don't talk about that. Nothing is gonna go wrong. This is gonna be fine.
Of course not. Also, the reason I said it is everything in this game is basically known. It's all based on skill. Until one point where we get to the judges. But other than that, you know what is about to happen if you are on the correct RNG values that you need to be on.
Like, if you compare this to other JRPGs or RPGs in general, this game is really, really cool in the sense that RNG is like almost no factor. Like, there are platformers, well-known platform speedrunners that have more RNG than Chrono Trigger. That sounds ridiculous, but it's like true. Like, this game has so little RNG, and it's really awesome because it's such a skill-heavy game. The one thing with Chrono Trigger is that it's pretty hard. Not so much in the sense that it's like the individual things are hard to do. Most of the tricks in this game are actually pretty easy to learn and pretty easy to do, but like doing everything right is really, really hard. And there are singular things that you can do wrong that lose you like 15 minutes, and that's really, really punishing, especially in a race setting like this.
And you have to do it all in sequence. So
yeah,
you don't have a break basically. You have
Not
to
even
pay
in text
attention.
cutscenes because you have to mash text. Speaking about cutscenes, let's talk about this beautiful cutscene where princesses change their hair and the color of their dresses every second generation.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, basically Marl travels back in time, gets confused for her ancestor. Her ancestor is currently kidnapped, so does not get saved. Thus, Marl never gets born. So the entire heritage just gets extinct. And we have to stop that, obviously, because we like princesses.
Actually, I don't think we know she's a princess yet.
Oh, right. No, didn't she? Didn't Luca tell you that?
I think she says it just before the cutscene.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
Because you just went after her, you don't even know who that is, you just met her at the fair.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, she's a pretty girl. There's nothing wrong about that. Yeah, a nice pendant that sends you back in time when you want to use a teleporter.
I mean, it was the first thing you picked up. You didn't help her up, you picked up the pendant.
Right, yeah. I mean, Marl also kind of forces herself onto you, in fairness, but that's none of our business.
And right here we get to the grind of this game.
Yeah, the entire grinding of the game is going to be done now.
2 battles.
Two battles that we only do because we want to unlock Flame Whirl for the fight in the first fight in the Cathedral. Because it's the most efficient thing to one-shot the Nagates. Or the only thing to one-shot the Nagates, in fairness. And that's all the grinding we do. There are no other non-forced encounters that we do in this entire speedrun.
At least we try to not get any.
Well, they will certainly try. There are definitely encounters in this game that are known for accidentally stepping into them.
I mean, it sounded like there are no encounters in this game. There are a lot of encounters in this game.
Yeah.
You just have to avoid them.
It always looks like very funky if you don't know the game and you just see runners just doing random movements through screens that just look absolutely ridiculous and slow, but it's all just to avoid these encounter times. But we're gonna see more of that, especially specifically Denadora Mountain is very, very interesting in terms of movement. Alright, there you got that Flame Whirl aligning nice to one-shot 3 Nagates, not gonna get a single slow spell. Gonna be using one more Flame Toss to kill off the last one on both screens. And only have to get one attack, fastest way to do this fight.
And the reason we flame roll the left 3 is because Flame Toss has a slightly faster animation on the right one.
Hmm.
Because it travels all the way to the enemy, and if it's on the left, it travels longer.
Yep.
And we
So
get
we
to
got
meet Frog,
Frog.
the marshmallow.
I never get bored of, like, I never get tired of this theme. I always want to sing along.
I won't stop you.
Nah, I think it's for the better to not do it.
Also, equipment and item-wise, we picked up a power glove earlier and a power tap in the forest. Two very important items.
Both of these runners are, as we already know, gonna pick up a safety revive here in the first chest of Cathedral, and then gonna grab another power tap. What you won't...
Sorry, go ahead.
What you're gonna see on eLmaGus' screen, he's just gonna enter the room, grab the power tap, and get out, and you're gonna hear a slight jingle right there, and this little text box. What you're gonna see on DD's screen is that he's gonna instantly re-enter the loading zone, and then buffer the loading zone by continuously pressing the menu button, and thus keeping up the transition, which we call a fade-out glitch. And then he can just activate the fade out as he grabs the power tap, and that skips that little jingle, and doing that in 2 fades is optimal like he did. Saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, because he enters the end of the screen, the game wants to send him to the screen where he wants to go out to. But by menuing and unmenuing, I guess you could say, he keeps the fade out going. That's why it's called the fade out glitch.
And that fade out is not only useful for skipping the little jingle of power tap animation, that one is actually probably one of the most versatile powerful glitches in this game. We're going to use it to skip bosses, we're going to use it for a trick called Save Anywhere very shortly.
And skip normal enemies as well.
And skip normal enemies, yeah. Can't forget about these.
Looks like, yeah, they are both on the correct RNG numbers.
Thankfully, at this point, it's, well, after this point, it doesn't even matter if you're on the right RNG anymore. Because we're gonna have, as we already mentioned, save and reloads in this game. And every time you reload the game, the time you spent on the character select screen determines your RNG. So every time you do a reload, you're gonna basically reset your RNG to a specific thing anyways. So there we got that fade out.
Yeah, we get the save anywhere, and additionally we also get the unequip glitch. So what that does is it makes you resistant to a lot of elements except fire, and it also increases your magic attack for that character. It obviously makes you weak to physical attacks, but most of the bosses don't use physical attacks in this game. At least the ones that we fight.
Yeah, and as we already mentioned, we don't really like any extra encounters in this run. We skip a ton of them, and so we really only do the bare minimum. So that's not going to be too much of an issue. Plus, there's always RNG minute, so that's nice.
And you saw there, Yakra got skipped.
He's still kind of hanging around there, next to Princess Nadia.
So due to the save anywhere glitch, you are allowed to walk around during the cutscene, which you normally should not be able to. And by keeping the boss off screen, the game acknowledges that you beat him, because you're not supposed to be in the place where you are at, unless you have beaten the boss. So it's like, oh, you beat Yakra, congratulations, go ahead.
Yeah, this boss skip is thankfully pretty lenient, as in it's not like super specific where you save. You just have to be somewhere at a at like some very vague point past the boss trigger. Other boss skips are way more precise, as in the timing for the save and how you move to get past the boss trigger is way more specific and way more precise. We're gonna get to that later when we hit Hacker and Skip. But this one is pretty easy. You just have to run up to a very vague point because you don't need to be fully past the boss trigger. Whereas for other boss skips, you need to be like on a very specific point for it to count.
It gets harder later in the game.
Yeah. And also, one thing to note, we still have the save anywhere glitch. The game only, like, because we did the fade out onto the save point, the game will permanently think now that we are on the save point, up until we hit a screen with a save point again, because then the game checks for the save point in our position again. But since we didn't do that yet, we still have the save anywhere, and we're going to use that here in just a second for the reverse bird skip, once we get back to our time.
And we also get to skip the frog cutscene. Just don't run into frog. That's all that basically is.
Yeah, that is... When I was learning the game, I always thought that was a meme because it was like so simple, but you can actually run into him and talk to him. That is a real thing.
It is.
So yeah, pay attention how Magus is going to slightly delay his loading right there. Because again, the time you spend on the character select screen is going to set what RNG seat you're on. Also very important here, you're not allowed to be too close to these ledges there. Because if you are, once you reload, since the game does not handle well that you save there at that position that you're not supposed to, it's going to set you onto a different layer of the screen, and you're going to permanently softlock the entire save, so that's just a rip.
Soft locks are a thing in this game. But very nice reverse bird skips from both of these runners.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cues you can use, visual, audio, or just brute forcing it, I guess.
Yeah, it's like not, if you don't want to do it super fast, you can just straight up walk into something and you'll always get a guarantee.
So right now we are back in our time, 1000 AD. Get some more cutscenes, I guess. And then we get to the trial cutscene.
What do you mean trial? We're just supposed to escort the lady and get some nice dinner with the family. What are you even talking about, trial?
Yeah, sure.
That makes no sense.
You'll see. So yeah, you can actually run into the enemies here. Believe it or not. It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, this is even one of the nicer instances of the game where you can actually kind of see that there are encounters, even though they don't align with the enemy sprites. There are other parts in this game where you can just hit an invisible tile and from off-screen enemies are going to jump into you. So avoiding these encounters gets a little bit more technical later on. Here it's just like hugging the trees and getting around. Yeah, this is not randomizer, this is actually even a vanilla game. I feel like I haven't mentioned that in a while.
At least we think it's not randomized.
Well, if it's not randomized, this is a pretty vanilla heavy seat so far. But yeah, we got the trial. There are two questions we need to answer. We want to say we want to take the second option on both questions, so no pure text mashing here. And then our fate is going to be decided by the one jury guy that is RNG for us, basically. And that one's going to decide if we get guilty or not guilty, basically. It's almost a coin flip. The odds are a little bit more in favor for not guilty. We want guilty because it saves a few text boxes later that save, I think roughly 6 seconds, 6 to 8.
Yeah, and
so
the
yeah,
guy
it's just
we
an
want
RNG
to
thing.
watch out for is the second juror.
Yeah. That's the one we could manipulate him. Well, we couldn't manipulate him, but we could manipulate Avarice, but it would just be slower. So we deal with this. As V-Man mentioned earlier, it's really important, for example, that we don't talk to Ma before picking up the pendant, that's one of the things that would influence the result of this trial here.
Yeah, because if you talk to Mal before getting the pendant, one other juror would also say not guilty.
Yeah.
Because he actually cared.
Alright, so let's see for eLmaGus. Is he gonna save 6 to 8 seconds? Yeah! Sure thing, alright. eLmaGus got guilty. Let's see if DD gets the same RNG. Get a nice, fair, and even playing ground. Yeah, nice. That's cool. Double guilty. And that's really the cool thing, like I mentioned earlier, even though this is a JRPG and you think there's like a lot of grinding and RNG involved in this, these like 8 seconds here, guilty or not guilty, is already like the second biggest instance of RNG in the run, which is ridiculous.
And it's actually the only randomness in the Magus tournament.
Well, I mean, there's still acid slimes, which I guess technically are manipulatable, but
True.
I don't think we're going to see
they
that.
will do it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not the only one. You are correct. Is this even randomized? No, it isn't.
I'm really glad this meme. I know this meme a lot from Super Metroid. I'm really glad this is not only a thing there, but it's also a thing here. Oh man. I mean, every game has a randomizer these days. It's insane.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, if you would have gotten not guilty, you would get some extra text boxes. You would get some items in the jail cell, I think an ether.
Yeah, but we don't need that ether, thankfully. So one thing to watch out here, again, they delayed loading their file the last time they loaded it a little bit, just to set up on a specific RNG. And if they are on the right RNG, and eLmaGus seems to be really confident here because he didn't take the backup safe, they are gonna one-shot this guard here with a Cyclone, because they're gonna get the max damage roll of 60. So that 60 is basically the confirmation that you did your backup load correctly. I'm pretty sure eLmaGus is on the right RNG. Pay a little bit of attention to his reload. I'm not quite sure about DD, but I mean, this is a really easy reload to hit. We're talking about like I think like a 0.3 second window. So really not too bad.
And there's some nice setups that you can do to ensure that reload. We saw Magus skip another enemy fight there and do one of the longest fade outs.
Yeah, there's this one encounter in the middle of the bridge that we can just skip. Really, same concept as we already explained, triggering the transition over the fight trigger, so it just gets rid of the fight altogether. It would be faster to just do the fight, but because we have, oh my god, that guy, but because we have a really nice RNG that we want to keep for the boss fight, the Dragon Tank, we're just gonna skip that fight. And that guard was, oh my god, dude.
Calculated. Yeah, those guards, the first one turns around all the way and then back, and the other one just turns down and...
Oh no! Oh no.
DrunkenDraconian moving up too far forward.
Yeah, and this is really bad because this completely, well, it's not terrible. He is off RNG now, and you really want to have the RNG for the Dragon Tank fight because it makes the fight significantly faster. There is a backup for the Dragon Tank fight that you can do, which I'm gonna go briefly over, but this is definitely a huge time loss for DD right now. So what eLmaGus is going to do, because he's on the right RNG, he has a lot of nice crits aligned. He's just going to constantly attack the head and kill the head first, and then take care of the body and the wheel. what DD is gonna do, he's gonna spam flame worlds on the main body and damage all three at the same time, and then kill the head last, which is less efficient. We can see here DD picking up a few extra mid-tonics. Not a bad idea.
I think there's also a backup if you get into one fight where you still kill the head.
Really?
I'm not sure if DD knows it. Or if
I'm
going for it.
I remember from DD's tutorial that he goes with a flame world strat, so
yeah, that is a backup if everything goes wrong.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Same time.
That's fair. Well, I guess we'll see. That's also a nice thing about this run, there are a lot of backups.
There are, indeed.
Ah yeah, it looks like he's going for a flame world strat. Oh, that's interesting. So one thing that went on there on Magus' screen, what you do there at one instance is that while you put in the cyclone, you hold the menu open with Luca up until one specific attack is completely over, and then you leave the menu, and that usually skips an attack. Magus still got the extra attack in, so he's not on script anymore.
I don't think it matters too much if you get the extra.
It does matter, actually.
It does? Oh.
I think, at least. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter.
Really? I think it's more of an ATB thing, actually, than like a well, we'll see, I guess. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the future, anyways.
Cursing it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's not an ATB thing. It's a crit thing for the buggers. They might be misaligned, but I think you can fix that. But there we go. DT killed the head. Is done with the Dragon Tank fight.
He will be behind a bit, but
yeah,
nothing he can't salvage.
Well, nothing he can salvage, and nothing that couldn't be made up with many things that could go wrong on eLmaGus' side. I mean, the speedrun just barely started. We didn't even scratch the surface of things that we do in this run yet.
So yeah, more cutscenes running away from the Royal Guard. Oh look, there's a time portal here. Let's just take it.
Also pay special attention to the sprite of the Chancellor once they disappear. So it's a pretty good one. He has one of the most lovely shocked faces in SNES history. There you go. Alright.
To the future.
Yeah. Future is a pretty interesting segment. Really not a lot going on, really a lot of story progression, but we have, I want to say, one of probably the most movement-heavy screens in this section. We got lap 16, which is really technical in terms of movement for Magus right now. Later, Protodome, pretty technical. Oh, that rat was pretty trolly. So one thing that he did there was opening the chest and then getting caught by the rat, which overlays two text boxes and allows him to just run through an encounter time and just skip an encounter that way.
And he took it safe on the last one. Because if you lose too much money, that's not good. It's nothing major, but just not good.
You want to keep that money.
Yeah. But more importantly, we picked up some items.
Oh yeah.
Especially the Berserker, very helpful.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
load sword and load bow as well.
And we're gonna see all 3 items equipped very, very shortly. Actually coming up on the instance where it is required for you to swap your button configuration. Because we have a boss coming up, the Guardian, and the gimmick of that room, of that boss fight, basically, because you have this alarm sound, I guess they wanted you to like open your menu in panic. But if you open your menu in this fight, on default controls, it triggers an extra encounter. If you remap your menu button, it doesn't remap the button that triggers the extra encounter. So you cannot do this fade out if you trigger this extra encounter. So for this alone, to just do the fade out into the boss and then skip the boss, you have to have your menu button on not default for this to work. eLmaGus does the faster version of just playing with swapped controls from the start. DD plays with default controls and swaps his controls just for this fight and then later swaps them back, which adds an extra menu. It isn't a terribly lot slower. It's a little bit slower, but just one of these things where I guess having your preferred control scheme still saves you a lot more time, just because your gameplay is just more solid and you don't have to get reused to like age-old muscle memory.
I mean, DD could also just not swap back.
Well, right. Yeah,
I don't know what he does usually.
Oh yeah, he just yeah swaps it back. But...
Okay, it's an option. But he had a really nice lap 16. I think he had a 1 cycle on all the reds.
That's pretty good. So there you go, swapping his controls, doing the fade out. And swapping back. Magus here playing it safe on the rats and the bucks. That screen right there is absolutely notorious. Doing that room perfectly is ridiculously hard. Another fade out, yet again, this time not to skip an encounter or a boss, but to skip a cutscene. Well, or at least half of the cutscene.
Actually have to remember to go back in. Because otherwise the story won't progress.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this game is very solid in terms of story progression triggers. Not a lot of sequence breaks.
You say that, but you basically don't know what is happening if you see this right now.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Because we skipped half of the cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've never seen the game and you just watch the speedrun, you have no idea what's going on.
Oh man, I'd be very sad about that because this game is absolutely great. This cutscene actually is one of my favorites. Kind of unfortunate that it's that specific one to skip. Magus getting fast reversed buffs. Playing it safe on the reds.
Very nice section from eLmaGus so far.
Yeah. You'd think because this is an RPG, movement doesn't matter too much, but movement in this game is pretty crazy. On a good level. Like, this game is honestly on many things a lot harder to optimize for the movement than it is for the fights.
And we get more story. Because in that cutscene, we actually saw that it was our future, even though you didn't see it.
And
we also saw Lavos awaken and destroying things, which you also don't saw.
We're also never going to see Lavos in this fight, in the speedrun, because we only care about Magus.
True.
That's the I guess technically, if we skip a few text boxes after the run, we do get to see Magus a little bit. Sorry, Lavos. We're basically interrupting teleporting him, so there's that. And now we get to see the Johnny race.
We get a race in a race.
Time for the man, yeah, word.
I think they actually changed that in the remakes, right? not the man anymore?
I have never played any version other than the SNES version, so I cannot tell.
So yeah, what you want to do here is stay ahead of Johnny as long as you can. Because it's actually faster.
Yep, being ahead in a race is actually faster. Can confirm it.
I mean, it sounds so simple. It also looks so simple. It's not that simple.
This is ridiculously hard. I can say that. Playing it safe at the end there. Alright, solid race.
And you can ensure the win if you use the boost at about rest 40.
Yeah. So, we're still on RNG after the D-Tank fight. Gonna get, after we equip Ma with Berserker and Loadbow, we're gonna get 2 lovely crits from her. And then just, actually, oh no, yeah, right, because eLmaGus didn't get the attack skip, he didn't get a crit here. Usually you're supposed to get 2 crits here. But now, unfortunately, he gets extra attacks in. Yeah. Alright, now he's good.
And DD with a nice view of the race.
Yeah, that always looks cool.
So scenic.
Yeah, the wastelands, just beautiful. Also playing it safe there near the end. Both winning the Johnny race. That sounds so simple, but I mean, this tournament was marked with instances of lost Johnny races. It happens.
It does. It does. Also, you saw eLmaGus not run on the higher elevated section there, which DD is coming up to. It skips another fight.
Yeah. And not only does it, not only is it good because you don't trigger the fight, but that fight you also cannot run away from. So that would actually be pretty lengthy with 4 buggers.
And I think DD actually used the shelter before going in here.
Yep. Playing it safe.
RNG, it's safer.
I'm actually not sure how the next fight is gonna go for eLmaGus now. The next fight, usually if you're on script, is pretty simple. You just need 2 attacks, because you're gonna get 1 absolutely insane crit from Robo. But we're gonna have 1 more encounter until we're off RNG again. That's gonna be 1 Acid, and Acid at this point, since we're really under-leveled, has, well, really high defense, and we don't deal a lot of damage, so in a bad case scenario, we just have to deal like 10 1 damage rolls, and it's ridiculously slow. But yeah.
And we also get a new party member, Robo.
Did anyone name him Bobo? I've seen that a lot in the tournament already.
Magus actually just named him Robo, and DD is coming up on the name.
Yeah, Robo, I think Robo is the only character where it's faster to just leave his default name, at least in Magus %, because his name is used so little.
Yep.
Yeah, so there we go. Normally you're supposed to get a 1 in 10. This is a pretty good damage roll still. We'll need like 2 extra attacks, plus the extra attack from the Acid. Which is a little bit slower, but not too bad.
That feel when you crit for 2?
I mean, yeah.
Also be sure to get your votes in on what these guys get.
Right. Already see 3 greens for eLmaGus and 2 greens for DD. Okay, so we have the biggest instance of RNG in this run coming up. We're gonna have 5 enemies, of which they can all either be acids or slimes, reds or greens. And we want greens. Well, mostly we want good damage rolls, but we want greens. So you can bet how many greens they're gonna have. Can be everything from 1 to 5. 5 greens being a 1 in 60 chance. Really, 1 green can be better than like 4 greens though. Well, rarely, but it can be better if the damage rolls are good. Because that's all that matters. If you get 1 red with stupid damage rolls, and it's still worse than like 4 reds with like absolutely god damage rolls. That's just how that goes. So there you go, a lot of 1s and 2s. So. At least they align nicely, though. That's always important that they don't mix up, because if they mix up and you attack a green next to a red one, they can counterattack.
You had to curse it, right?
I mean, come on.
Where's the fun otherwise?
Oh, I didn't even counterattack, come on.
Nice.
Didn't even counterattack. I didn't curse anything.
Saved.
Alright. Oh, going for another cyclone. That one should kill the green though, so not really... Yeah, oh yeah. Look at those damage rolls on the reds though, that's ridiculous. Oh, that's a good... a 7. That's the highest damage roll. Well, non-crit. And a 2 from Luca, that's as much as you can expect really. A 1 from Chrono, well, yeah. Yeah, that's...
It's not a bad pattern, but the setup is pretty not nice.
Yeah, you can see how he struggled there deciding on that cyclone.
I think I would have just cycloned all 5.
Wow, and it 1 damage. Wow, this is ridiculous. Yeah, you can see why this fight is not fun. Oh my god, did you see those damage rolls? And a counterattack. Dang. DD is not... Oh, 2 counterattacks, wow. Oh, he needs to be careful. He's gonna... Well, Chrono is close to dead. Oh, at least that's a 1-shot green. Really important for this fight if you use Cyclones, which you usually want. You need to pay attention that Chrono does not get below 8 MP, because we need 8 MP for the upcoming boss fight. Otherwise we're gonna get pretty destroyed.
Yeah, or if he does, you have to use a Isa or mid-Isa.
Well, yeah, right.
Both of those... I think both picked up a mid-Isa in the Yakra cutscene.
DD also not getting the greatest damage rolls here. Luca dealing more damage than Chrono. Oh my god, yeah. This is... lengthy.
Those 1 damage rolls.
Oh, there you go. That's something. Oh, and Luca is dead. Thankfully he did... Yeah, that safety revive coming in handy. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Robo. Saving the day. So both runners not really with great fights. DD really not with a great fight. Thankfully they both lived. And now coming up on our series.
Yeah, and we saw on DD's screen he healed Chrono and Luca and didn't bother with Robo, because this is a fight you have to fight with 2 people. And that's what basically makes it scary.
Yeah, this is a pretty Bible font moment for our friend Robo.
In conclusion, 3 greens versus 2.
I mean, yeah, that's that's what I'm saying. It's the damage rolls and how they split up matters so much more. In fairness, DD had 5 greens in this tournament already, so that's as much luck as you can hope for 1 tournament.
So yeah, for this fight, you want to make your inputs as fast as you can.
Yeah. Really good first Cyclone for Magus here. If you get that first Cyclone in before you get any attacks in, that's optimal. That's exactly what you're aiming for. So the idea of this fight is cyclone the front row once, cyclone the back row twice to kill them, and then kill the front row with another cyclone. What that does is that you're completely avoiding any counterattacks, and also avoid death.
And Magus playing it safe and using the metallic as well.
Completely skipping out any attacks from the back rows too. That's a really good fight for him. Basically optimal. Yeah, really nice fight. Not sure, did he set Luca to Flame Toss there? Yes. Didn't see it.
I think she already was on Flame Toss in the acid fight.
Yeah, but after the after she used the metallic.
The item, yeah. I don't know.
It's the thing with Battle Curse and Memory. Usually you want to have Luca set to Flame Toss here for the set of events basically where you already prepare the next boss fight based on what RNG you get between this boss fight and the next one. Because that allows you to, since Luca's already on tech, to just spam the A button basically to get on the tech instantly for the next instance.
Yeah, because in most boss fights you want to go into the menu as fast as you can.
Ooh, DD getting a lot of 3 extra attacks in there before his Cyclone. Needs to be careful here because he doesn't have a revive anymore.
But he has extra metonics.
That is true, yeah. He did pick up the 5 extra ones at the prison.
So he should be fine.
Oh, going for Flame Toss right there. Oh boy. This... oh... this should be fine. This could have backfired. That... oh no, oh no, oh no.
I don't think that's fine.
No, this is not fine. We're well past the point where this is fine.
I'm pretty sure he should have flame tossed after the second cyclone and not before.
Okay, so I mean,
if he wants to flame toss, because I know that could be a strategy. You don't use items, you just flame toss.
Yeah. Well, it's... I don't...
I know that Luca needs the XP from this fight. She will have some trouble later on somewhere.
Definitely for mass. Maybe just. I'm gonna admit I'm an absolute noob when it comes to backups. I have no clue what the backup plan for this is, so I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what he has to do to fix this.
He can use an extra fight. I think somewhere in the Nadora Mountains.
Well, I'm just gonna believe you. He said "fuck my life" on Switch. That's can't be too good, but I'm sure DT is fine. He knows a lot of backups. He's good.
Yeah, he should be fine, but he's just going to improvise a lot
and lose a lot of time. But
in the process, yeah, because he's basically going to be off the RNG values that he wants to be on.
Maybe eLmaGus is going to fight Spikio. Who knows?
True. So, most people probably have never seen the frog form of Spikio. The reason is we are really underleveled. And we skipped a boss fight and basically all fights, except for the 2 where we grinded. And I think we barely made it below level 10. Because otherwise you see the Kilwala, I think they are called. The Yeti thing. Oh, that was a nice skip there by Magus.
Yep.
I think they call it cake and dash.
Yep. Eating the cake and avoiding the conversation like a civilized person.
Yeah, you actually can fight Spec here.
I have done that in this tournament. It is possible. Alright.
So yeah, what happened? We picked up magic, and magic is really useful, especially with the unequip glitch.
Yeah. Because, again, we have this absolutely insane boost in magic attack. It's going to be very useful. And it's basically going to carry us through a big portion of this game. That and some Berserk strats on characters that are going to be added later and have some actually decent stats for physical damage.
And on the Magus screen you see a lot of fights, but he actually runs away. And the reason is he just goes into a menu, holds the run buttons, and after a while just goes out of the menu. If the fight is escapable, you can do that. Otherwise, you do this fade out here.
Yeah, conveniently enough, the frame counter for for escaping fights keeps counting even if you're in the attack menu. But in the attack menu, enemies cannot attack you. Well, they can if you... Well, they cannot add any new attacks, basically, so you can just sit there, wait it out, and then leave, just like that. And this is probably one of the hardest skips coming up. We got the Hecarim skip, which is basically the same idea as the Yakra skip, but you need to be completely past the fight trigger, and you cannot just simply run up to the fight trigger and pause at a very specific timing. Because of because of frame rules, you need to release your B button, the dash button, for a very specific timing in order to even be able to get to that point past the trigger and then press the menu button. We call that release B. Magus here getting it first try with the fast setup. Got the pause a little bit early, but was able to just back it up by mashing the menu and got a nice fast Hecarim skill.
Can cut in shortly here. DD actually picked up the magic tab and the speed tab, so he's probably going to use anti-pole strats for Masamune.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure that's his backup.
And we're already coming up on the next big glitch. This section is really glitch heavy. Everything after the first end of time visit. You already know the save anywhere glitch. We're gonna do that again, but slightly more complicated. We're gonna do end of time save anywhere, which is basically the same concept as normal save anywhere. We're gonna enter a transition as we are on a save point. But you can see those pillars there to the top left. They're pretty far away from the save point at the bottom left. And we're basically doing a lot of complicated shenanigans to gain control as we zip away and then step on the save point. Like that.
And then I just got the first pause buffer.
Yeah.
That's
you can pause buffer this with the text. You can just see specific ladders being printed out, and then you know you got it if you just press it on the same frame as you release the pause. If you don't go for the pause buffer strat, it's a 75% chance because every 4th frame just doesn't work. But that's a really nice strat.
Yeah, but
Saves
since the pause buffer has been basically known in the tournament, most people use the pause buffer.
DD looks like he got first try Hecarim skip. Oh, there we go. Nice. So great job for both artists getting first try Hecarim. That one's pretty rough. Really, not nowhere nearly as easy as Yakra skip. But yeah, getting that end of time save anywhere. We need that to skip yet another boss, Zambor, on the bridge here in just a second. We could just not get end of time save anywhere and get save anywhere in the cathedral, but that one's significantly slower.
Yeah, but again, it's a nice backup.
Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, it's good that this exists. If this wouldn't exist, we had like a different problem. But yeah, this section is just insanely glitch heavy. We have Hecarim skip, we have end of time save anywhere, then we have Zambor skip, then we have Tata skip coming up. A lot of really technical section, really.
We just like to skip things.
Yeah, I mean, I like this section a lot. It's just a lot of stuff going on at the same time. Alright, so now, while DD is going for his end of time save anywhere, we got eLmaGus here, with the Captain and Zombor escape. Same thing again, we have two triggers that we need to save past in order to gain control and not trigger a fight/cutscene. First instance is the Captain skip, where we skip a cutscene. Second instance is the actual boss fight skip, which eLmaGus both got first try. Both of them also include release B, so releasing dash for a specific amount of time. But nice that he got that first try. DD with beautiful end of time save anywhere.
Yep.
So really nicely done.
And Magus not going to do any safety shopping. Okay.
Yeah, Magus does the Berserk strats for massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's still possible to get safety shopping just for some revives.
Yeah, I just feel like the backups for Berserk are kinda eh. So, funny thing, the thing for reverse bird skip that makes you soft lock if you save too close to an edge is the exact same thing that allows you to skip skip a cutscene here in this part, because it puts you on a different layer than you're supposed to be just because the game is confused of the reload at this odd point. So you just get kind of clipped onto the next ledge and you can just skip part in a Dora Mountain.
Yeah,
Most
usually you're
specifically
supposed
Tata.
to see Tata there.
Yeah. So I personally think it's pretty hilarious that the thing that makes you soft lock in one place just allows you to do a skip in another place.
True. And you see a lot of fight skips here.
Well, you don't see them.
You see the fight skips, you just
you don't see
the fights.
Right. So, you might see that he's running around kind of weirdly around some spots here. There are a lot of invisible encounter triggers here that he avoids very smoothly. And you really don't want any extra encounters, because then the Berserk strats eLmaGus is going to use some massive moon are not going to work. You need a very specific RNG for this. DD retrying the Captain skip here, gets it.
Ooh, eLmaGus even got the first fast bird.
That's how you see we are in the losers finals, seeing all the sick tech.
Yeah, you actually saw DD use a magic tap on Luca.
This has to be one of the most cursed boss fights in this tournament. The Masamune, especially with the Berserk setup that eLmaGus is going to use. We have some pretty tight inputs here during the Master Twins fight. There are two pretty tight Luca fires that need to be inputted here. That first one was really good.
This Rod, this is the losers finals. So we decide who gets to have a rematch with Red Slash in the winners finals. Sorry for interjecting there.
Oh, yeah. eLmaGus getting both fires in nicely. That Master Twin fight is, on an execution level, the harder part of the fight. Masamune itself is kind of complex, but doesn't have too many tight inputs. There's something called Troll Massa, which is not gonna happen because this is eLmaGus and Troll Massa never happens to eLmaGus. But the reason why this is so, I don't know, kind of weird is because the last backup save is so long ago, and since Chrono is on Berserk right now, there's not really a lot of recovery you can do if something goes wrong. So if you do a slight mistake in this fight, there's just tons of time loss because of death.
Yeah, or because of recovering.
Yeah.
Since you don't have Wind Slash right now, or Slash in this case, to dissipate his accumulating of energy that he does later in the fight. But with this setup, we try to avoid that, so he doesn't even get to that phase.
Yeah, the way the fight works out is really, really cool. When you look like how precise we hit transitions from the second last phase to the last phase.
And I think eLmaGus has to wait with Luca for the animation. Yeah, he's going for some backup.
Yeah.
Because I think he wasn't paying attention to the ATB there.
Oh boy.
Should be close to that though.
Yeah, I think another attack and the Fire Punch should do the job. Oh yeah, getting some slashes and that's good. I think that Fire Punch should kill?
I think he's missing a crit.
Oh yeah. Oh, but that's okay. We got another slash there. Yeah. Well, that should be really...
That should do it.
Oh no.
One more.
Oh no. Okay, this is bad. I know Robo can be dead at the end of this fight, and you're fine. Chrono definitely needs to survive this fight for XP.
I was just making sure that Chrono is alive.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, Magus is fine.
Oh, yeah, he was actually missing a rocket punch on the fire as well, I think.
Oh, right, yeah, because of the early cure beam.
Yeah.
Well, not optimal, but he's alive. That's more than you can ask for, honestly.
I don't know if he didn't pay attention to the ATB or if he just forgot. Because I saw that his ATB was bad, and that's a rare case. You just assumed it was good?
Yeah, there's one part in the script where, even though the RNG is kind of fixed at this point, Masamune is really reactive to like very small differences in like micro positioning, and that can result in one specific part of the script, the ATB being kind of off. There is a fix for that, but you need to pay attention to it for it to work. And if you just don't see that, you can get off really quickly.
That's why you actually heard me say that he should wait with Luca, and he didn't. But it's easy for me to say. I know how hard it is to pay attention to that. I've done it as well. But actually, he is also going for the Berserk strats.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Fire Punch.
I gotta honestly say I'm not familiar with this strat at all. This
looks not good.
Yeah, that's... So you can interrupt the storing of energy with a slash, but since Chrono's on Berserk right now, that's not an option, so you're just gonna kind of live through it.
Yeah, the good thing is he unequipped, because he did the shopping before. He sold some equipment, so he could unequip, so he is pretty safe from that.
Yeah.
I guess that was his call there. And we got a new on eLmaGus side.
And that's the important part. I mean, that's all we're here for. Alright, I got the Fire Punch.
I think that's why he used the magic type as well, for bigger fire punches.
But yeah, with the early shot menu, he's pretty good.
Maybe he just thought of this strat on the fly, just combined Berserker and Fire Punch.
Man, I hate being on a server chat. And...
I mean, he is pretty safe in the yes indeed phase because he has unequipped everyone, I think. So he's taking almost no damage.
And there you go. No one's dead. And he got through.
I mean, he had to improvise because Luca died.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that's where you see the real experienced runners. Just being able to improvise, like, that's pretty impressive.
I first thought he would go for Antipode. It's pretty slow, but it's very, very safe. Since I don't know the Fire Punch strats myself.
I like that he had the "it'll be alright" text box up there a little bit longer. I think that was a message for us.
Nice one. Also, eLmaGus did some shopping and unequipping as well in the Pole shop. I thought I would mention that since DD already did that. And we get more skips. Make your skip in this instance. So you picked up the Mass Immune from Frog in the Cursed Woods, and you saw that Melchior was the one who crafted it. So you went back in time? Or ahead in time? I'm not sure with this game. If you go ahead or back.
You go somewhere. That's
You go through time.
Yeah, there is time, sometimes there's the end of time. We're not sure.
Yes, actually we did have guilty for both of the rounds. But now we're definitely back in time.
Actually, RNG-wise, this was really not bad. It's really not bad for the race. We had equal RNG on guilty and not guilty. We had equally trashy acid slimes, so in that sense, the runners are pretty even. It's always nice seeing a run not decided by RNG.
And we also had some Mass Immune improvisation from both.
Right.
But very nicely done.
And no new for DD.
He's going to be so sad.
Oh yeah. Well, DD always says no news are good news. So I cannot second that. I personally love news, but... So Magus is completely off script. I'm wondering if he's gonna do a backup load before the reptile layer. I'd kind of assume that.
We also get Ayla here.
And Ayla at this point is pretty OP.
Especially if we give her the Berserker.
Oh yeah, Berserker Ayla is great. Not the best use of Berserker in this run, but a pretty good one nonetheless. We'll get to that later.
And that's one of the fights you have to take, because there's just no way past it, but you can just run away.
Oh, we could fade out, but that would be slightly overkill. That would just be ridiculously slow.
And DD actually took a reload.
Yeah, that's really one of the nice things if you get off script, as we already said. The time, if you just reset the time you spend on your file select screen, determines your RNG seed. So for basically every single scenario, there are just backup loads that you can hit, and you just wait a specific amount of time and he'll be back on script, just because you loaded a specific amount of a specific timing.
Yeah, you have reloads before every dungeon, I think. Some are longer than others, so it's not really useful to do them some of the times. But usually for almost all of the dungeons you have backups. Especially before every boss. So if you get off the RNG that you want, the values, you can still get back on.
And now we need the stone that Ayla has in order to reforge the Masamune, but Ayla will only give it to us if we drink some tasty soup that is totally not a weird translation from rice wine, but that's alright.
And that's also one of the instances where you actually have to mash the A button, even if you switched your controls. The game doesn't care.
Yeah.
Just mash A.
Yeah. A is the soup mashing button.
I figured it out because I changed my controls. And I was mashing my confirm button and nothing happened. Wait a second.
Nice. So, DD.
Go ahead.
One thing you saw there is the way RNG works for that specific fight is actually kind of interesting. You got 2 text boxes before the Reptide fight there that DD is in right now. And if you close those text boxes at a specific timing, actually only the second one matters, the RNG is going to change in terms of like how the enemies move. So their RNG manipulation is actually kind of different from other instances of the game.
So Magus actually switched out Mal for Robo during the party scene. Didn't mention that. And right now here in the maze, you get to not see any encounters, hopefully.
Yeah,
just
Marl
through the maze.
Marl parties a little bit too hard, so we cannot have her with us. She's unfortunately too slow. So we rather party with the robot than with the pretty girl.
Very nicely done by eLmaGus. So that maze is full of encounters.
Yeah.
If you didn't know.
It's just an empty jungle where there's no encounter. It just.
I mean, it looks like that. If you run through it.
Just enjoy the scenery. The Magus getting hit there for 34. That's how he knows he's on the right RNG. And DD also swapping in the robot for the girl.
Yep. I mean, it's still a speedrun. We like to be fast, even if we are behind or not on the correct values or whatever. I still want to be as fast as possible.
I very much like how you said it's still a speedrun.
I mean, it is.
Actually didn't know that strat with Luca Fire there. Huh, interesting.
Again, skipping more enemies and more fights. And running away from the ones that we can run away from.
And now we come to the glorious moment where Ayla is going to get her Berserker. And it's going to be absolutely beautiful because we're coming up on the boss.
And we also steal her Ruby West.
Yeah.
Because we need it for later.
Well, that and it's nice to have her unequipped. Not that that's the main reason, but it sounds better than stealing her Ruby West.
So Nispo fight is not too bad, even if you are off the values that you want. The main thing you have to watch out for is that you lightning him, so he doesn't physically attack.
Yeah, the fight is really simple. Just lightning him, then he is stunned for a while. You can just throw all your attacks in. Ayla is going to deal a ton of damage with a Berserker. Chrono and Luca are going to do some beating slashes and fires. And I'm going to quote the infamous El Jerry here and say it's impossible to die to this build. Like this fight, even under-leveled with unequipped, like as long as you're unequipped really and you don't have Berserk on Chrono, you can do this fight off RNG very, very easily.
I mean, you say it's impossible,
you know, here's the thing. I had runs die to this guy because I equipped Berserker to Chrono instead of Ayla. It is possible, but like, we have to set up, like, a Magus with all his experience is not gonna die to this fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that as well. I mean, it's even possible to die without Berserker on Chrono.
Right, but I mean...
Just have to be late on your lightnings, or use them too early and then Chrono doesn't have the ATB to interrupt.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah. I know Magus apparently has some time to write in Twitch chat.
Yeah,
it doesn't even need to focus on the Lisbon fight.
Ayla is not quitting as she should be.
Zero crits. that's what happens when you're off RNG. You don't get all the juicy crits that you want.
I think it was the fire that you mentioned in one of the fights.
Yeah, I was not sure about that. Luca isn't even supposed to do anything in that fight, but I don't know. Things happen.
Yeah, because I know I have it in my notes that beware, Luca is faster. Because it happened to me as well, that I just attacked with Luca there.
This is really one of those games where you really have to be 100% focused and be aware of the information that you have. Like, the things itself aren't too hard to execute, but keeping the focus up for 2 hours, remembering all the strats, keeping up your notes, and just not making mistakes is just insanely hard for such a long time.
So that just means DD has a chance to catch up because he seems to be on RNG. Values that he wants to right now.
Yeah, that fight is a lot quicker on RNG than whatever it was that eLmaGus had there with no crits on Ayla. Optimally, if you're on RNG, you can really save a lot of time just by getting a 2-cycle. There we go, Berserker and stealing that Ruby Vest. And
I see. So, eLmaGus did not reload after Massimian, because his damage rolls looked okay.
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember he got a 34 on the first fight in Reptile Lair, so I assumed he was fine.
I had that happen to me as well, before Magus Castle. It was not pretty.
Yeah. Well, you definitely should be, like, if there's one thing you should be sure about that you're on RNG, then it's right before Magus Castle.
Agreed. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Not too much later, but later. And DD is getting crits, so he should be finished faster with this fight.
Yep. Catching up on eLmaGus here. Still has a decent lead, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong in the upcoming segments. Like, I will definitely say there are single mistakes that eLmaGus can do in Magus Castle that will cost him the entire elite.
I mean, it's still execution-based.
Yeah.
So right now we reforged the Masamune, so we bring it back to Frog. Story-wise. Which means we have to go through time again.
Oh, very nice fight from DD.
So one bird skip. He got it, and then he walked into the trigger.
Oh man. The participants of the race are already talking about the grand finals. During the race that decides who even gets into the grand finals.
So Magus has to reload.
Yeah.
Before Magus goes. I mean, he was already past the trigger, but he walked back into it. It happens.
I mean, he was off RNG. Well, I mean, he might be so off RNG that he's on RNG again. That actually happened. That happened in my PB. I was so off RNG that I was on RNG again at Magus Castle. And that's the nice thing. We have one confirmation fight right before Magus Castle that can tell us if we're on the right RNG or not. But we'll see about that.
I would still reload. I have bad memories about that confirmation fight.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, we got a second new, which is the important part about this game.
That's absolutely. I also very much appreciate that eLmaGus was walking a little bit of a zigzag there on the overworld map while he was typing in chat. That just goes to show you that you should probably focus on your runs while you do them.
So right now we have a lot of cutscenes. Then you get some control, and then more cutscenes.
And we're also gonna embrace a specific marshmallow meme.
Indeed, always. So if you want to grab something to drink or to eat, now would be the time.
Yeah.
So we got double cutscenes, nice.
Nice. Okay.
So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. DD pushing free characters next to a bookshelf is a pretty good topic. Oh man.
He actually didn't swap Robo in, right?
No.
Oh no, he swapped him out, right?
Yeah, no, you don't want Robo in here. The game wants Robo in here.
I'm like, you should have Robo at the end of this cutscene, but he gets put into your party even if he's not in there.
Yeah, the game really wants you to have Robo for that cutscene. Robo and Luca kind of doing, like, helping with the forging of the Masamune. There's a lot of stuff we can skip in this cutscene. We can even fast forward it by just running into Melchior while he was standing at specific points just to speed up the entire thing. Because the game doesn't like when two sprites overlap like that. It's kind of weird.
And the thing is, we also did the fade out, of course, yeah. And during the fade out, we swap characters. So the game still thinks you have Robo in your party, even if you don't. So usually Robo would walk around there and help. Or if you don't have Robo, then Luca does it. But since you have Robo and Luca, at least the game thinks you do.
Oh. DD also missing the bird skip, unfortunately.
So, as I was saying, sorry. Since you still have Robo according to the game, he just walks around, but he's not in your party anymore, so you don't see it. But yeah, DD has to reload as well.
Who is winning the game?
It's always the viewers that win.
Hmm. Oh, the viewers. That's even nicer than what I thought. Oh, we got a new.
Nice.
Beautiful.
3 news. So again, Magus gets to control his characters for a bit, and then the game's like, let me have the controller again.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is just one giant cutscene with the quick time event of walking over the minimap. Oh, and there we go. Pay special attention to eLmaGus' screen now. Because now we get to know about the true identity of this frog guy.
You're a marshmallow
Glen.
So right now, story-wise, you learn about Frog, that he used to be Glenn, a very good sword fighter, but kinda shy, I guess, or unsure of himself. And you basically get the backstory of Frog, of Magus, Ozzy as well.
Yeah. This cutscene is secretly the background story of Ozzy. The true hero of this game. We need to make like a Chrono Trigger's prequel that goes over the story of how little Magus and Ozzy became friends. Just imagine that, the little kid Magus and his adventures with Ozzy. That deserves its own game.
The story of Janus and Ozzy. Or Janus. I don't know how he's pronounced.
Well, I don't know either. I just think that would make a great game.
True.
Also, this cutscene is surprisingly brutal for this game and Magus' nature. Just like straight up insinuating Cyrus like that.
Ozzy's in a pickle. Very nice name for the game. I like that name.
What is the number we're looking for here? 19?
Yeah, you want 19. And if you get hit twice, you also get 23. You don't want to get hit twice.
See, that's exactly what I told you. When you're so off RNG,
still reload.
then you're on RNG again. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's how lovely this game is. When you mess up so badly that the game is like, okay, you know what? It's been so rough for you. Just here's the right RNG. Go play with it. That's how this game is.
Yeah, I would just say no. I know I'm off RNG. I'll just reload. I don't trust your game.
That's fair.
But he's going for it. I did the same. It backfired. Let's see how that.
Well, I got a PB with it, so your word against mine. Gonna decide over DP's fate, I guess, in a way as well. Because eLmaGus still has a nice lead over DD at the moment.
So yeah, Magus Castle is really silent at first. You get no music. The stream is still working fine. Don't worry.
And unless we go silent, then you should start to worry.
Yeah, then you should. What you want to do is go to one side first, usually the left side all the way, and then right side all the way, and back to the entrance. And then you get to fight. Very nice.
Well, in theory, you get a fight.
It's just doing it for the fans. And then after the silence, you get this pitch, I guess you could say. For a long time. Yeah. See? Got an attack and a Crimson Flame. Usually you should only get a Crimson Rain, right? He might still be fine. I don't know if the attack matters.
I've never seen that attack, so I would just guess he's not fine? I don't know, let's hope he's fine.
I mean, I would have guessed that before you, but...
Well...
let's see.
I mean, no,
yeah, he's going to reload, yeah. He knows that he's off the RNG value. Well done. I respect him going for it.
You win. You're right. I was wrong. eLmaGus was wrong.
I don't care, actually. I just know that if I'm off RNG and you get that handed, the game usually doesn't like you.
It's so nice, though. Just the idea of getting that free right RNG, you know?
I know it happens in this game. Just not before Magus Castle, I think. At least I haven't seen it yet. And he did not get the damage roll that he wanted to. I mean, the backup load is fairly lenient, but you still have to hit it inside the frame. It's like 0.9 seconds. I mean, I say fairly lenient, but 0.9 seconds, still you have to react. Yeah, that looks correct. So this is actually the first instance you see of MP Buster, which you don't really care about, because Frog has a Berserker right now. He's just going to wail on Flea 16 times before you actually have to do anything again. So not going for any memes, just you have to do nothing, which can be hard. So you get one attack from Flea on Chrono, and afterwards nothing anymore. And the way that works is Frog's ATB with a Berserker lines up with Flea's ATB. So, and because of the Berserker, it actually prioritizes Frog for some reason. I don't know how the exact tech is there, but this is the basic rundown of it. And this was actually one of the first instances of RNG manipulation that was found in this game. So what you want to watch out for is 4 normal attacks followed by a crit. What you also can watch out for is the music looping. So if you want to have a break here, you can, but shouldn't. So it seems DrunkenDraconian got the correct RNG. It's the Crimson Rain. I haven't seen it though. Yeah, he's not reloading, so he's fine. So he was able to catch up a bit. Very nice. So what you saw there is Chrono gets the Power Scarf, you unequip Frog's Helmet, equip the Ruby Vest and the Berserker for the free fight. And for the other fights that are upcoming as well. Flea is not doing anything because the ATBs of Frog and Flea overlap and the Berserker takes priority. I don't know why, but it does. Some of the more experienced players in chat probably can explain it better than me. I basically just know it works. So eLmaGus is going to fight Slash now. He has two phases. First is unarmed. And second one he uses his sword, and for both you want to let Frog get as many crits as you can, and you do that by using the attacks where he would not get a crit, and with Chrono or Robo, so slashing or attacking, rocket punching, so Frog gets as many crits as possible, which makes this fight faster. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. As Adrama says. Again, more experienced runners than me. They know more. Exactly. Flea resets ATB and then it happens all over again. But at some point it just doesn't work anymore and you have to take action. Okay, eLmaGus done with the first phase of Slash. Second one, you have to do some mid-tonics on Chrono and on Frog. Robo should be fine. So again, as many Frog attacks as you can. Sometimes you just do nothing, sometimes you just hold the menu button, which means you just attack because of memory cursor. Actually, DD caught up a bit, but he is still a little bit behind Magus. Yeah, you definitely want to mid-tonic after the spin cut there. And after the yes indeed, the counter phase, basically don't want to do anything except set Chrono on Slash. Because otherwise in the fights where you want to run away with menu, you scroll your items, because Chrono last use items. Yeah, there's the counter. 77, looks good. Spin cut on Chrono. Nice. Attack and set Chrono on Slash. Very nice Slash fight. It's actually not only the mezzanine crit rate, it's also the RNG manipulation throughout this run. Because we did not have the hero medal equipped for the crit increase. We had the berserker. So yeah, after the slash fight, you pick up the slasher, equip it on Chrono, give him the magic scarf, give Rock the hero medal, and then proceed to Magus and run from as many encounters as you can. Oh nice, DD is already on the second phase as well. Let's see if I can pinpoint how far behind he is. So yeah, in this corridor you run from all. Talk to Ozzy. Go to the next screen with the guillotines. Are those guillotines? I think they are. Kind of. And you have to just wait for the sparks to disappear, because those are the things that hit you. Optimizing this is not easy, actually. Yeah. That was a nice save by eLmaGus. Didn't get hit. So yeah, the outward section. The rollies won't trigger a fight if you stand still, or if they are turning the corner and you hold up on the corner. So you don't trigger them. Very nice pit room. So that room has trapdoors in them, but by walking a specific pattern you can avoid that. And right now you will see eLmaGus, yeah, using his characters to get the outlaw out of bounds, basically. So you don't have to fight him, otherwise you cannot avoid him. And you cannot run from those fights, so if you get into a fight there, you have to fight it out. But yeah, very nice outward section. Getting into the forced fights. The first one you have to fight. For the second one you swap Robo with Luca and just run away from the fight. And on the third one you have to fight it again. So you want to land on the correct RNG values for the upcoming Aussie fight. You can save anywhere to avoid those fights. Yeah, I guess you could. So Luca will one-shot them with fire if they are on the physical barrier. Because those enemies swap barriers. If you hit them with a physical attack, they get resistant to physicals, and you can only damage them with magic attacks, and vice versa. And slash actually is a magic attack, even though it doesn't sound like it. Yeah, in this room that eLmaGus is in. Almost triggered the encounter, but didn't. So that's good. You just walk on the right or left side of the room, past the statues, and if you go into the transition, you want to face to the side and not up, otherwise you will trigger the fight. And the fight is actually in the transition. Aussie fight, fairly simple. You hit all the levers, or switches, whatever you may call them. And looks good. 124, 125, and 119. And Magus is good to go for the Magus fight. And since he didn't get hit after Slash, he doesn't have to use a shelter. But he still takes the safety save. Very nice. Magus versus Magus. And prepare for music. I really like the soundtrack here. I mean, the game has an amazing soundtrack anyways. This one is nice. Okay, Magus fight. What we want to see is lots of shadow and lightning barriers. Because those are the elements that we have. We never taught Frog any magic, so we don't have water. And fire actually deals a lot of damage, even with the unequipped glitch. So we want to avoid that as much as we can. And of course we have a script for the fight. It's not easy to execute the script, but if you follow it, then you actually only see one dark matter the whole fight. And it deals almost no damage. So yeah, lots of rocket rolls, some lightning, lots of slashes. That's what you can expect. And BD actually attacked Ozzy. So he has to reload. I think. I don't know if there is a backup if you hit Ozzy. If there is, I don't know it. So I just assume that he has to reload. Oh yeah, and for the Magus fight, you also have the Muzzlemune still equipped, so you want to hit Magus with Frog before you use your spells, because then his magic defense gets decreased and you deal a lot more damage. I did not see if DrunkenDraconian actually reloaded. I just assume he did. I guess we'll find out on the first attack. So, 226. Yeah, there he is. So he has seen the dark matter. He has to be quick on a Magus side. I mean, he has to be quick on this second slash here. Looks good. So you get a prepare and then a crit from Frog. And DrunkenDraconian is also on the right RNG values here. He is a couple of minutes behind though. And the Magus should be close to done, but he did see the second dark matter there. So I would say the frog menu probably was slow. Well done, well done. And time is coming up when Magus needs. Nice. So eLmaGus finishes first. And DrunkenDraconian is close behind. He also got the RNG values that he wants for the Magus fight. The race actually got closer again at the end part. Alright, let's see here. Lightning. 3. So he's a bit in, not halfway done. But he's still already past the barrier change phase. So after the barrier change phase, you have to be quick on the Chrono slashes. Because you usually have to switch to Chrono, even though another character has his turn slightly before him. And those switches usually mean whether or not you get a second dark matter. So if everything goes according to plan, which it normally doesn't, you only see one dark matter, but sometimes you get two. It happens. For me it happens more often than not, because that script is not very easy. There are some easy backups, especially for newer runners. There are actually a lot of Magus strategies out there with different backup loads. The main thing, as I mentioned, is you don't want to see fire or water barrier. Then you should be fine. And it looks like a Magus here for an interview.
Maybe.
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, you won. I know.
I did win, yeah.
You're probably not satisfied with it, but you still did win.
Actually, you know what? Like, this run was actually not bad. Not gonna lie. Like, I played pretty, especially the first hour was really, really good. But, like, I got trolled for over a minute by the slimes, which is like that's already wow. And then I got the Master Troll, and even after the Master Troll and that 1 minute on slimes, I was only 130 behind my PB. So I felt pretty good, but from the Master Troll onwards, I had a couple of RNG issues here and there, which led to another 2 minutes. But overall, I want to say I didn't play bad or anything like that. Honestly, this is better than some runs that I finished on 148 for 149. So
No, you
I
did play good,
can't be
but
too
the
mad.
RNG just was not up to it today.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, you know, like normally I play like, you know, and then get okay RNG and it ends up being 149 or whatever. But like this time it's just like I played really well, and that's my return. So yeah, there you go.
I actually respect you going for the no reload on Magus Castle.
Man, I know that some 19s on the Reds are bad, but I had to go for it, man. At that point, I also knew that DD was behind, so I was like, alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make it interesting. And then, yeah, I had to reload then. It's okay.
Oh, so it's only some of them. Alright. I didn't know. I just know that mine were bad. So I just assumed all 19s are bad if you are off RNG, but it seems some are fine.
All 19s are good.
Also,
no.
We got DrunkenDraconian as well in here.
Yeah, what's going on? GG's eLmaGus.
GG, dude. Yeah, you had fun too, eh?
Oh man. I had to use my safety revive in the slime fight, and I didn't have one for the R series fight when Luca died.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, and Chrono was on item at the beginning of R series, so it was just like, I don't know, begging to get destroyed.
Oh yeah, you used the revive as Chrono.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I almost used Cure Beam because I had to use it in the massive fight. I almost used Cure Beam on Slash. I held myself back in the last second. I was like, no, dude, stop!
Oh wow.
Oh man, that would have been funny.
Yeah, I was off script until Magus's castle, pretty much.
Same.
Just winging it.
Yeah.
I was actually expecting DrunkenDraconian to go for anti-boat strats on Massimium, because he went for the magic tap.
Marley doesn't deserve any love.
Alright, so now we know why you lost this race?
Yeah, sure.
Oh man. But yeah, definitely not our best showings, I can tell you that much.
It still got pretty close at the end though.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did like bleed over a minute, just because I had to reload before Flea, and that reload, man, that's a hard one because it's 3 seconds in, and I don't use metronomes, so I look at my timer literally to do these reloads. So like that was pretty tough.
Like pre-Flea, but after the first fight?
After Henge, yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah,
like,
that's definitely tighter.
Yeah. That's tighter, and it's 3 seconds in, so it's a bit rough, but we got it done.
Yeah, you still managed fine, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun despite all the stuff going down.
I mean, DT and I are good friends, so like we also chatted during the race a little bit and stuff, so it was good fun for sure. It didn't matter who won, honestly, because I mean, none of us two have a chance in the finals anyway, so there you go. Unless like Red Slash magically gets two runs in a row where he like gets a run like we did right now, and we somehow bust out PBs, it's not gonna happen. But yeah.
So yeah, you against Red Slash, the refight.
Again, yeah, I did my best in the first race, honestly. Like, the first race, I was super happy. I wish I would have busted out of the tournament at that point, because that was like such a good run I did as well. I can't even look for redemption because I can't play any better than I did in the first race, and I lost. So that's gonna be fun, I guess. I don't know.
And it was a pretty close race.
It was like pretty damn close, yeah.
40 or 30 seconds apart.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I know, but it's true. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to go into the lab, practice, probably off stream so he doesn't see what I'm practicing, you know? But
yeah, so I mean, is gonna do full game runs for the finals? Kappa?
I wouldn't be opposed, but like I don't know.
Are those going to be the hidden Johnny Race practice streams?
Oh yeah, that I have to that's the thing I need to win actually. I did very poorly today, 1700 only. It's disgraceful, but I will be stepping up my game on that one for sure for the finals. That's the most important thing, honestly. The rest doesn't matter.
And of course the news. You got 2 news.
I did.
Destroyed
Surprisingly.
then.
Yeah. DD only got 1, so that's the reason he lost, I think.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
glad that we had time to do the race. There was a bit of an issue there at the beginning, and yeah, it looks like I might need to change the battery on my Chrono Trigger cart.
I was honestly pretty mad because I had such a good start last when we did the first one.
Me too.
And then I got a 1 second better start after, which is like ridiculous actually. But yeah,
Nice.
it all went downhill from there. To be fair, but you know,
Yeah, I don't think it had any issues to restart. It just meant that I would have to do the solo commentary for like 20 minutes at the end.
oh yeah, Punk has
fine.
had
Definitely
to bail
appreciate
in.
you sticking around. I'm sorry that we kept you a little bit longer than it was supposed to be.
I was fine. I didn't care anyways. Just Punk had to head out
Yeah,
slightly earlier because sleep.
yeah. I want to thank you both, regardless, for commentary. Hope you enjoyed the race. We certainly had a lot of fun with it.
I did enjoy the race, yes.
Thank you very much for commentating. Thank you to Speed Gaming for restreaming, and everybody for watching. There were a lot of people in this chat, more than usual. So thank you guys for hanging out and stuff. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, DD, I'm sorry, dude. We need to race Rando in like I don't know, 30 minutes.
Let me eat.
Okay.
And then we'll see how I feel afterwards.
Okay, that's fair.
To find out the true winner. But yes,
All right.
thanks for racing. Follow the racers, follow everyone from Speed Gaming. Thanks for watching and see you in the finals.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.